What is up, car addicts? Welcome back to the series where I recustomize and review past DLC vehicles to different microphone quality before late 2019. So as always, guys, definitely let me know down below in the comments what car you want to see me recustomize next. I will display the most liked vehicle suggestion comment in my next customization video. So in today's video, we're going to be customizing the Dewbauchee Specter, the regular one, which I customized / reviewed back in 2017 when released. So the Specter released with the import-export update drip feed in January of 2017. It is available from the Benny's website for just under 600,000. Now, in regards to performance, this one's in a sports class and sits around top 50 in the class out of the 112 vehicles currently in the sports class, so right about average. It performs right around the same pace as some of the OG, sort of like mid-tierish sports cars. And unlike most Benny's cars, the regular Spectre and Benny's custom variant actually have pretty much identical performance. Not to mention, this one doesn't have much visual customization, although it does have a few options. Obviously, the highly customizable one is going to be the Benny's variant, but for those of you who want the normal non-wide body variant, this is what you can expect customization-wise, which you'll see here shortly. Now, in terms of what the Spectre is based on, it's primarily based on the Aston Martin DB10. Now, the DB10 was a bespoke, ultra-limited production car where only 10 were made for the James Bond movie Spectre. Hence the name of the car in GTA, but obviously with a different spelling, since in American English it's spelled S-P-E-C-T-E-R, and in the British spelling it's spelled S-P-E-C-T-R-E. So a very clever reference from Rockstar there. I love those little Easter eggs, but anyway, let's go ahead and check out the customization of the Spectre. Alright, Spectre, let's do it. Alright, so first thing here, of course, we have the Benny's Spectre custom upgrade, which we're not going to do. That's obviously if you want to do the wide body variant. I've already done a previous video on that a few years ago, so we're not going to be doing that. We're sticking with the regular one here. But the upgrade is pretty cheap, actually. $252,000, not bad at all. We've come a long way price-wise, like HSW and stuff is extremely expensive these days, but this was very cheap. You're still into this car, even with the Spectre custom upgrade, under $1 million. That's very, very good value. Anyway, armor, brakes, bumpers. So you got the carbon curve splitter. So, I mean, it's not a bad looking option. It depends what kind of build you're trying to go for. I feel like if you're going for more like a race reference build, like a track build, you know, it makes sense. But I feel like since you'll see shortly there's not that many options on this car, I feel like it's a little out of place. So rear bumper, you have a tow hook, which they call tow eye here. No diffuser options. Sadly, that's locked to the Spectre custom variant. We're not going to be doing that because we're not doing a racing build. Continuing here to the engine option, we'll max that out. Exhaust, you only have one exhaust option, and that's the dual oval. It's all personal preference here if you prefer the stock exhaust. It's kind of like built into the shape of the diffuser there, or you can go for the dual ovals, which I think look a little out of place. I feel like the stock exhaust even kind of goes with the taillights and stuff a bit better, so I'm gonna stick with those. Lights, some xenons, plate, do our black plate, and I do have my Aston Martin plate here. Aston, there we go. Respray. So for this, I'm gonna do everybody does the silver, reference to Spectre, or like metals brush aluminum, which looks beautiful as well. It's a great option there. But I want to do something a little bit different. I'm gonna go down here to the metallic galaxy blue, which I think looks fantastic. It's sort of like in between midnight blue and dark blue. I think it's just a great shade of blue there. And then for pearlescent, I don't want to make it too crazy. I'm just gonna do a simple light blue. I think it gives it a nice balance. It's still a dark blue, but when the sun hits it, it does have a bit of a lighter tone to it in certain angles, which I really like. So we'll do that there. Something really funny on this car I'll show here shortly, but secondary color is going to be the interior stitching color. So that's all the changes. Doesn't change brake caliper color. That's for the custom variant. And there's no secondary options, I believe, for this car. So yeah, it's only the interior stitching. So I think we'll make it like a blue to match. I think making it too dark of a blue, you really can barely see it. So I guess we'll do like a regular blue. I think that's a nice sort of like reference there. So we'll do that. So here's the option here. It's really strange. The equivalent for this car, look at this. It goes right on the bottom section of the door, sort of like on the side rocker almost, but that just looks really weird how they did that there. That's strange. Yeah, very weird. Usually it's like in the middle of the door, but not on this one. Skirts, so you do have these short carbon skirts, which they do stick out quite a bit. You know, I guess that does go pretty well with a custom front splitter. But the stock rocker, I think it looks really good. I mean, it already has a skirt sort of like built into it there, so I don't really think it needs it. Doesn't look bad though. We might do the front splitter and side skirt at the end just to see how it looks, but we'll skip that for now. Spoiler upgrade. So this does add the traction benefit if you want the extra traction, although I do feel this car looks a lot better without the spoiler. I mean, in all honesty, this car just looks better stock, just plain. Doesn't really need anything, you know, like the actual Specter, it looks so clean. How nice I think that car, just really simple, clean design. That's what it was sort of like meant to be, you know, meant to look like. But we'll put the spoiler upgrade just so we can, you know, for the driving portion of the video, and it doesn't look too terrible. At least it's not like a massive in-your-face spoiler. At least it's somewhat acceptable. Although it does have a texture bug. You can see it has like a camo bug stuck on it. That's fantastic. That's weird. Broken texture on that spoiler. Suspension. So that's another reason why you should install a sport upgrade. But we'll slam suspension there. Transmission, turbo, wheels. This car, I don't like a crazy multi-spoke wheel. I definitely want something with a concave to it. The concave racers don't look bad, but I think it's too many spokes for this design. So I'm gonna put the concave Mercies on here. It's a nice twin 5-spoke design. It is my favorite wheel in the game. I haven't used it in a while for one of my builds. For those of you who are gonna be like, oh my god, he's using those wheels again. I haven't used them in a long time, so it's fine. I can put it every now and then. And on this car, I think it just suits it perfectly, especially the back end. With that width that it has, with the deep dish Mercy concave back there, it just looks insanely good. So we'll do that. Wheel color, I'm thinking the stone silver. I don't want to do black. And the white, while it looks decent, I think it just doesn't work too well with an Aston Martin, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with the stone silver. It's just a darker version of like a gray. It's kind of like the alloy, but just darker in between a gray and that. I think it's just a nice, perfect color for that. So we'll stick with that there. Windows will do some light smoke, and that's all the options. So let's see how it looks with the splitter inside. I think it looks a lot better without that, but we'll put both of them on so you guys can see. Yeah, I think it just looks a lot more clean, what it's supposed to be, you know, without the side skirt and splitter. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, but it's all personal preference, man. At the end of the day, you know, there's only two options. Well, actually, stock or the random splitter. So at that point, it's just personal preference. And I think it looks better without that stuff. But all right, exit to ground. Definitely removing the spoiler. I'm just putting the spoiler on the car to demonstrate, you know, so I can get a better feel for the driving in the street. But that weird texture bug, that's really strange that it has back there. To the color of a sunlight. Wow, look at that transformation. That's wild. Beautiful, man. The pearl in this, I think it's just perfect. Absolutely love it. Beautiful. It's a good looking car, man. I love the width in the back especially. Alright, for it is rear wheel drive. Little wheel spin there. This car is, by today's standards, it's pretty slow, you know. It's sort of like OG sports car performance, and not even like top tier OG sports car performance, sort of like right under the top OG sports cars. So for a 2017 DLC car, not really all that impressive or impactful. It's a lot slower than like a Masakuro, for example, or on a track, and yeah, it's just not that impressive. The top speed's decent, you know, so it's not a bad Grand Touring car, but acceleration and handling wise, it's sort of eh. Alright, let's take a few corners. And like I talked about earlier, the Specter Custom and this one pretty much have identical performance, unlike most other Benny's cars where they're actually different. Yeah, the handling of this car it's very inconsistent. It likes to spin out a lot. I'm not doing that. It's doing that by itself. It almost looks like I'm hitting the handbrake, but I'm not. Very loose back end. And that's with the spoiler upgrade. So without the spoiler, it'd be even worse. Did not like that bump there. The curbs unsettled it a lot. A lot, this car. Man, the acceleration is just so poor coming out of the corners. I wish it was just a little bit better. The handling is just super sketchy. Let's take this corner here. It did not like that. It does not like the bumps. Even like smoother roads, it still like spins out. Oof, that's a big bump there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a car you just buy for the look, you know. At least it doesn't have handling flags, so that's a plus. I mean, that'd be really terrible if it did. Alright, let's go and open all the doors and stuff. I believe this car, the hood doesn't open, or the trunk. I think it's just the doors from what I remember. Yep. That's very lazy. That's very lazy. Interior. I believe this interior was introduced with this car. The Spectre. It's like a C7 Corvette looking interior. It's kind of strange. Yeah, it's I mean, I think it's a nice design personally. I mean, what do you expect for like $600,000 basically? It's a lot of car for the money. You know, you got like a nice concept looking, classy Aston, and I personally really like it in terms of the exterior design. Not everything has to be a perfect driving, amazing, fast car. You can have a nice looking car too, even if it doesn't drive that nice. So I think it's worth it for like a nice clean build, slammed, no crazy aero, no spoiler, just a nice clean look with a nice color, a nice set of wheels, and you have a really good looking Aston in your garage. So yeah, and well under $1 million, even fully maxed out. This car will probably cost you what, about $800,000 with everything, full upgrades and all. That's not bad. That's a really good deal. So yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And definitely let me know what car you want to see me customize next from late 2019 and older that I haven't recustomized again yet. Thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.